This is an overview of this channel, the phases it has moved through, where it is now, and how to understand what is being shared going forward. It began with a vertical spiritual cosmology. It expanded into a horizontal, coherent field perspective. It now focuses on the underlying process through which all experience forms. If you are new, some of this may sound familiar. If you have been here for a while, you may notice the shift. What is being explored here is not specific to spirituality. It is the process behind all experience, how reality forms, how meaning is created, and how anything becomes something that feels known. This applies to everything: everyday situations, interactions, perception, insight. The bigger questions about life, all of it. What you experience as reality is how your brain and body organize incoming information into something that can be recognized. That process is always happening, automatically. At any given moment, only a fraction of what is available is experienced consciously. The system is processing far more information than can be brought into awareness. What becomes conscious is not everything that is there, but what can be stabilized into experience. That stabilization occurs through templates, patterns built from prior experience, belief, memory, and nervous system conditioning. Only what can organize through those templates becomes something that feels real. For most of my life, my perception was organized through a vertical spiritual cosmology, including what was described as 15D oversoul transmissions, guidance, higher aspects, dimensional structure. That framework provided a way for experience to stabilize into something that made sense. Within that framework, when something felt expanded, unfamiliar, or outside ordinary reference, it could only be experienced as higher, dimensional, or external. Because that is the active template within the system, the belief-based pattern structure through which the experience is organized, stabilized, and recognized. From there, the perspective expanded into a horizontal, coherent field understanding. Not something beyond or outside, but a recognition that we are within the field in which all experience forms. Not receiving from it, but existing within it. A continuous field where experience arises through interaction, filtering, and stabilization. And then the further realization that regardless of the framework, vertical, horizontal, spiritual, scientific, religious, psychological, somatic, philosophical, cultural, or practical, the underlying process remains the same. Anyone describing what reality is, in any domain, is operating through this same mechanism. Experience being organized, stabilized, and recognized through the templates available within the system. This is not about one way of seeing being right or wrong. It is about understanding the process itself. And then the further realization was the role coherence plays in how experience is organized. Not as something to achieve, but as a property of how patterns align within the system. Experience does not depend on coherence. The system is always organizing and stabilizing input into something that can be perceived. That happens in all states. What changes is not whether experience forms, but how it forms. Coherence is not a separate template. It is a way the system's templates organize, where patterns align and stabilize with less internal conflict. What is referred to here as Stillpoint is not a place or a state to reach. It points to a way the system can organize, where competing patterns reduce and experience stabilizes with minimal internal conflict. But experience also stabilizes through fragmentation, through tension, through competing templates. All of it still becomes something that feels real. So the difference is not between having experience and not having it. The difference is in the structure through which it stabilizes and what that allows to be recognized. As patterns shift, as belief templates update, as the nervous system reorganizes, different signals stabilize, different interpretations become available, and experience itself appears differently. Not because reality has changed, but because the way it is being organized has changed. Experience happens first. Interpretation follows, automatically. What is seen, felt, or recognized is stabilized by the brain and body into a form that can be understood using existing patterns, memory, and meaning. So what appears as insight, guidance, expansion, or even ordinary reality is always experience organized through a particular way of seeing, through the templates already in place. This channel now focuses on the process and the conditions through which experience forms. The earlier videos remain as they are. They show how experience stabilizes within a given framework. This is not a correction, not an addition. The same experience, seen with increasing precision. And moving forward, the direction is clear. Not toward another explanation, but toward direct recognition of the process itself.